All right, Chief, thank you very much. What will you remember about 2011?
There's a few things. The success of the Balsa prosecution was huge. I thought that, it was an incredibly comprehensive investigation. Shane Parker did an amazingly good job on the prosecution side, and to get the convictions, I think, was sending a really solid message. It puts some serious bad guys in jail for a long period of time. So that sticks out in my mind. I think that the continued success we've had with reducing violent crime, particularly the homicide rate in Calgary, using a number of different strategies, is really gratifying. For a city of 1.1 million people to just make double digits in homicide when, 200 miles up the road, they're 4 times what we are. Winnipeg, very, very high. So that's really gratifying to see the work that is being done by our officers out there to target serious violent crime, to target things like organized crime, and really see an impact compared to the way things were not so many years ago.
Calgary Police budget was in the news, of course, this year with Calgary City Council grappling with trying to keep a lid on tax increases. Calgary Police, the only department really to see this $10 million funding. Why is it that there wasn't any room in CPS to tighten the budget and to find some money where other departments have done as well?
Oh my gosh, that's so wrong. People forgot that we took a $4 million cut the previous year in 2011, the year we're in right now. In addition to that, we were going into 2012 with an increase of $2.8 million, just inflationary increases. The bills we have to pay, we have no choice, increased by $2.8 million. We were trying to address growth issues. The city continues to grow, at the rate of basically 20,000 people a year. And we have to provide, the service, just to maintain the service to those people that are moving to the city. We did find a large number of efficiencies.
Occupy, another big event that happened this year. Protesters camped out Olympic Plaza for nearly 2 months. Were you happy how that was handled and how it ended up?
Yeah, absolutely. It was funny, ironic, I think, how some people, not very many, most people didn't care, viewed this as being such a critical issue when there were so many other hugely important issues that were happening crime-wise in this city. But the charter is very clear, and the courts have interpreted the charter and people's rights to protest, and you have to balance it off against the harm that they do. And what in essence those folks were doing was breaching bylaws. So they were charged with breaching the bylaws. But there was no authority to arrest. And we handled it, us, bylaws, and city legal, we handled it correctly, legally, using the least amount of force, and using an approach that is measured and balanced. And ironically, in all my year-end interviews, you're the only person to mention it, because it was a non-event. It's a non-event. Whereas in other cities in this country, holy mackerel.
Yeah. What about the new impaired driving legislation that is in place now in Alberta? Stiffer penalties, more consequences for drivers caught over 0.05. As opposed to the 0.08 threshold, which we've seen for so many years now. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a brilliant piece of legislation. The Alberta Association of Chiefs of Police about a year ago passed a resolution unanimously to support the administrative license suspensions that put impaired driving again right in everybody's gun sights. In other words, I don't know anybody who says they perform better after they've had a couple of drinks. Like, if you're going to play hockey, you don't drink before you play hockey. If you're going to do a big presentation in front of your board of directors, you don't have a couple of drinks because you think you perform better. I suspect when you anchor the news, you don't have a couple of drinks to perform better. And yet somehow people think having a couple of drinks doesn't affect your driving. And 0.05 doesn't mean, in spite of those that say, oh, you can't even have a wine with dinner. Well, of course you can. You know what? Of course you can. You can probably have two.
A lot of people, their only interaction with Calgary police is maybe when they get a speeding ticket or they're pulled over for speeding. And when I mentioned I was doing this interview, I had a number of people say to me, why is there so much speed enforcement in this city? I guess to borrow a phrase from the mayor, are you using Calgarians as an ATM machine with all of these speeding tickets?
Yeah, you know what? We should just say, you know, we're not going to enforce the speed law, right? We should just say, why would we? I mean, it's not me speeding that's the issue, it's everybody else. You know, the reality is speed kills. We didn't coin the phrase, somebody else did. It reduces your reaction time, the ability to react. It reduces your stopping time. It forces you to run red lights, run yellow lights. It does a whole lot of things. It's the root cause of a lot of collisions and a lot of and you know what? If people think the speed limits are too low, change them.